evening, good evening, good evening. Or wherever you at. I don't know what part of the day is where you at. I am Cousin Dilly, and this is Talking Dilly. Um, Talking Dilly, we just talk about some current events. Could be anything: sports, life, relationships. Um, today I'm gonna speak on a couple issues. I ain't gonna be long. I won't be long winded with it. So today I'm gonna speak on a couple issues. Of course, we got to speak about Cat Williams. Cat Williams, of course, went on the Shannon Sharp Club Shay and kind of he spoke his mind. And he spoke his mind, and what he said to me was, in all areas of life, that's how stuff goes. Basketball, I mean, sports, work. You got a lot of individuals that, not talking about the individuals he was speaking on. You got a lot of individuals that like to run their mouth, um, you know, and a lot of times people get catapulted to certain positions, without putting work in. And I like Cat Williams. I've been watching some of his interviews, and you don't it's like an athlete. You see an athlete, and all you do is see him play the game or um, you know practice or whatnot. But then when you talk to him, like, dang, I didn't know they rock like this. I didn't know that they cared about these type of people. Same thing with the comedians. I like comedians, but listening to the Cat Williams, I put another perspective on comedians. I didn't take them as serious as I should have. I don't believe. I don't think anybody does. We just think, hey, they're comedians, but they got to put work in too to get the success, some of the success that they looking for as well. And most time there's a pecking order. From what Cal Cat explained it, he's the headliner. I got to kind of understand it when Monique was speaking on some of the situations that was going on with her. There's a headliner, and if you got four or five, it's like the best goes last. So you go in order of who's gonna go last. But Cat Williams is a funny character. I like Cat Williams. I know a lot of people disagree with how he came out and what he said, but I think it's cool to be able to speak your mind. And it's all. A lot of it is comedy and stuff like that, because some of the stuff he said was really, really funny. Um, uh, you know, he got to speak his story. I didn't know that he left home, at 12 years old or 14 years old. I didn't know how he came up. I didn't know his come up, and we don't usually get those comedians come up uh, a lot of times. So I appreciate, the interview that Club Shay had. Um, Club Shay was a good platform to put it on, and it's crazy because he went right behind all the individuals that came on and spoke about him. Uh, and if you ain't gonna speak the truth, if you're not gonna speak the truth, then don't speak about people. Or when you do speak about people, don't get mad when they speak about you. Um, it's like it's like some people think that they can just say and do what they want, but then when someone says to do something to them, then they're in their feelings and they don't like me, they hating or whatnot. Which it's crazy. It's crazy that people have to be like that, especially with the internet. People are talking all the time. People are looking for stuff to talk about. People are looking for people to talk about. People are looking for good to talk about, bad to talk about. They're waiting on somebody to down. They're waiting on someone's downfall. All those type of things that go on in the world that are now exploited over the internet. So, Cat Williams, I salute you. I salute. I support you. I think you're funny as hell. I have never seen you stand. I never seen you stand up. But if you ever get a chance, I do want to check you out. Uh, you know, I like how all the other comedians were speaking on the situation, um, because like I said, I like a lot of sports. It's also almost like sports. Like we compare LeBron to Jordan and Kobe to Jordan and the Jordans, and we don't go any further than Jordan when we comparing our great athletes. So we'll say from the late '80s to the middle '90s. We compare anybody great coming in to Jordan, and then we'll say, well, they couldn't play in this era, or they couldn't do this in that era, or Jordan couldn't play in this era. I guess that's how we do the comedians too. You can you know, and comedians, we all like certain comedians. You know what I'm saying? We all like certain comedians. We all like those certain comedians. I particularly don't like a lot of people's. So I don't like what singles I don't like. I'd rather see some comedians' movies than I would to see their stand up, and vice versa. And then sometimes I'd rather see both of them. Uh, I think Mike Epps is a good actor, a good stand up. Martin's a good actor, good stand up. Just to name a few. But Cat Williams, to me, I love what he did. Not in a sense he could have probably did something better, of course, but everything he did, he stood on his own 10 toes. He didn't need no help. He didn't need no support. He didn't. I mean, he got support, but he didn't need nobody to back him. He felt what he felt, and he stated what he wanted to state. So, salute to Cat Williams and what he's got going on. Salute to everybody, all the comedians out there that's funny and making people laugh. Because, like Cat Williams said, laughter is an emotion, and if you can tap into somebody's emotion on a positive note, you're doing a good job in the world. Salute to Cat Williams for all the stuff he does for people, communities, and other aspiring actors. And I mean, he helps from what I gather, he helps movie stars, actors, the common Joe. So salute to Cat Williams for the things he's doing. So on the back end of that, the Club Shay interview with Cat Williams, of course you're gonna get pushback and you're gonna get people stating this and that. Well, I came across one individual, Mr. Steven Jackson, former basketball player, the real one. That's what he's. First thing he's gonna say is he's a real one. You can ask somebody. I don't know why you have to ask somebody if you're a real one when you're a real one. I don't understand that. But every time he says something, he's like, "I'm a real one," or he says somebody else is a real one. I mean, I always speaking for someone. I want somebody to speak for him. But nevertheless, a former basketball player, NBA champion, came from a crazy environment. Now he's on a podcast with Matt Barnes, All the Smoke. I really don't watch a lot of that. Just ain't my cup of tea, but it's cool. But anyway, he loves I think, in my opinion, Steven Jackson does a lot of clout chasing, and needs a lot of validation. Um, it's like he's always asking for someone to back him up, or he needs help doing something. It's just my opinion, so I hope he don't take this the wrong way. If he sees this, I hope he don't. I'm not. I played 4 years varsity football, 4 years varsity basketball, 1 year varsity baseball. Did not go to college. Did not play any professional sports. So had a lot of run-ins. Had a lot of crazy stuff happen in my life too. So who am I? I'm just somebody on the internet talking, just like everybody else. So anyway, Steven Jackson goes into a rant about how Shannon Sharpe shouldn't have let Cat Williams speak like that toward other individuals. And I did understand what he was saying, but to his point, he was saying that basically what he was saying was that if Shannon Sharpe interviewed these other guys, then why would he let Cat Williams say something about these other guys in whatever form or fashion? But on the flip side, Shannon Sharpe's just doing an interview. He's not taking sides. He never said, Cat, you're right. He never said, Cat, you're wrong. He never told them other individuals they was right or they're wrong. Cat Williams is airing it out. And what Shannon did was a great job. Let him talk. Hey, he didn't get out of hand. He didn't provoke. He didn't call nobody names. He wasn't using no profanity. It was the communication was very, very assertive. Okay. So Steven Jackson goes on to say Shannon should have stopped him. Shannon, that ain't right. And I fool with Cat Williams, but if it was me, I would have stopped him. Me and Matt ain't gonna let nobody talk about nobody else on our show. if we rock with them. Steven Jackson, you do the same. You talk about everybody else all day long, man. You know, you talk about you're doing it now. You're talking about Shannon Sharp. You're telling him how to run his business. You're telling him how to operate his platform. No one told you that you shouldn't smoke on your platform. No one told you that you shouldn't cuss on your platform. No one told you that you should have this guest or that guest or not have this guest. So how are you going to tell this man how to operate his platform? And if you felt that way, see, this is the thing about social media. If you felt that way, you couldn't call Unc and be like, Unc, man, you probably should stop that man. You know, you don't want nobody to think you this or you that, or you don't want nobody to think come attacking you. But only one person attacked Shannon Sharp for that interview, and that's you, Steven Jackson, that I've seen. The only person that attacked Shannon Sharp for that interview was Steven Jackson. Everybody else was like, okay. I think you've said it more than one time. Numbers don't lie. Over 40 million views, and people are watching that joint more than once. And then because and technically, it's not because of it. It's not. It has nothing to do with Shannon Sharp because Shannon Sharp's not even asking this man questions. Cat Williams could have did this, sat behind his own camera, but he came to Shannon Sharp's Uncle Shay and did it on his platform because these other individuals did it, and he knew that they would have to see it. So come on, and then I seen Shannon Sharp respond, and Shannon Sharp's, basically it's like hate, man. It is like hate. It looks like hate. Put it like that. It looks like you hating on him because he got all these numbers, and millions and millions of views. The thing only been on the air 2 or 3 weeks, if that, and he's got over 40 million 40 million viewers. Subscriptions is going up, likes is going up, probably super chats is going up. You can't hate that, man. And I don't agree with everything Shannon Sharp does. I don't ever agree with everything Shannon Sharp says. But in this case, and I ain't nobody, I'm not a judge. I mean, you don't have to agree with somebody. Just because you don't agree with somebody don't mean you don't like them. It don't mean that. It just means that you don't agree. Hey, F her. I don't agree with how you talking to this lady. F him. I don't agree how you talking to that older man. It's just an agreement type thing. And it's just crazy because when you get on YouTube, it's more of the so-called rich people crying and begging and complaining. Like, people make it out of certain situations, and if I had millions and millions of dollars, and I was able, if I had millions and millions of dollars, and I was able to take care of my family, and I was able to have generational wealth for my kids and my grandkids, and if something was to happen to me, I know my mother and my sister and my aunties, my whole family would be taken care of. I would wake up every morning and get on the internet and talk so freaking good. I would be so happy. I'd state some of my problems. Yeah, man, me and my girl got into it. She left. I left her, blah, blah, blah. My kids is acting stupid. I don't know what's going on with them. Oh, man, I had to do this. My mom, them, they ran the dang car down. They get the oil change. I would speak real type stuff, but I wouldn't get on the internet and get my blood pressure up because I'm worried about what somebody else said. And I done made it. I done made it, dude. I made it. I made it out of not eating. I just watched the Roberto Duran movie. Didn't know too much about Roberto Duran, but it was a good movie. But I used to when some of the parts in the movie, Roberto Duran would be eating, and they couldn't stop. They wouldn't be able to stop him, and he would just want to eat. And when it's time to train, he's like, man, I them days I used to go hungry, man. I gotta eat. And I'm saying, like, people make this success, and they still act like they stuck in the same place. Like, there's nothing. I don't even have the success that y'all guys have or you women have. And there's no way that I would get up. Now, I like to have fun. I like to tell jokes. I like to, critique stuff. But to critique stuff in a matter where I'm cussing somebody out, where I'm so mad at somebody I tell them I hate them or I consider them my enemy. I heard So Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown have had a back, going back and forth and whatnot. And these brothers is like, but I think good, bro. Gilbert's a little wild, Kwame's a little. I mean, but they still. But I heard Gilbert say he's his enemy. I'm like, damn, he's your enemy for a disagreement or calling you out or supposedly calling you out or this argument. That's your enemy. And vice versa with Kwame, the same thing. Like y'all brothers, man, that's wild. It's all fun and games because y'all brothers made it, man. Y'all brothers made it. All you brothers made it. Shannon Sharp, Steven Jackson, Cat Williams, all these other comedians. All of y'all made it. Cat Williams was homeless. He stated he was homeless during the movie and he had to work. I mean, like you made it though. You know what I'm saying? So I understand wanting to, state something or clear the air on something, but at the same time, it's like, I just want to clear the air. I don't got no problem with them. I don't fool with them, but I don't have no problem with them. But when somebody comes on and says stuff, I should speak. I'm gonna be able to speak for myself. What they said, that didn't happen like that. This is how it happened, and for them to state that it happened like any other way is a lie. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just wild. It just baffles me. I just wonder if I was in that situation, would I act like that? And it's a possibility that I would, but I'm saying I wouldn't, of course. Last but not least, so this is another form of this craziness that I think is going on with the media or whatnot, social media. So, Jason Whitlock, I do not agree with a lot of. I probably don't agree with 90% of what Jason Whitlock says or does. Is some of the stuff he says and does. I feel like he does come off like he hates people or he hates certain people or he hates certain things. That's how I feel. Jason Whitlock, he's on Fearless. He's got his own channel. Does doing his own thing. He's a sports writer. He was on ESPN. He's on Fox. For whatever reasons, he's not on those stations anymore. So Jason Whitlock critiques everything. He says something about everything. He's been talking about Prime. He just talks about everything in the sports world or whatnot. So Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith has a book out. The book comes out. So in the book, Stephen A. Smith is, telling stories about, his life, basketball, family, et cetera, et cetera. Jason Whitlock critiques the book, basically a critique. Jason Whitlock says, there's no way. Stephen A. has an insert where he says he hit 17 threes in a row and he got a full ride scholarship to Winston-Salem for play basketball. He ended up getting hurt. So Jason Whitlock says that's a lie. There's no way in the world that the man that we know as Stephen A. Smith hit 17 straight threes and they gave him a scholarship. They're saying, of course, 17 straight threes. If I tell you I hit 17 straight threes, you're going to be like, man, everybody should have been knocking at your door. Because if you hit 17 straight threes, what did you do before that? You had to do something. So Jason Whitlock critiques the book. He's lying, claims Stephen A's lying about certain things in the book, et cetera, et cetera. Stephen A. Smith, the number one guy on ESPN. He's on First Take, the number one show on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, probably one of the highest paid commentators that didn't play a professional sport in the world. He's probably one of those. He's probably that. Stephen A. Smith, he's in movies. He's got front row seat to probably any big sporting event. He's got the number. He's probably his phone number. His phone probably has every top athlete in it. Stephen A. Smith has a show he does on YouTube, Stephen A. Smith Show. So Stephen A. Smith has the show, goes on the show, and he goes off. Now, when I'm talking about off, I'm surprised ESPN did suspend that dude, tell that dude don't come to work for a couple weeks because the hatred, that's hatred, dog. That's hatred. The way he talked was hatred. It wasn't disagreement. It wasn't disagreeing. It wasn't a mistake. Stephen A. Smith was talking in hate. When you compare somebody to the devil, you compare a black person to a white supremacist. That's crazy. To compare somebody to the white supremacists when they didn't hurt nobody, they didn't touch nobody, they didn't touch a kid, they didn't touch a woman, they didn't touch an elderly person. To compare a black person to that type of to something like that is ridiculous. Off of words. Stephen A. Smith stated that he hates Jason Whitlock in a nutshell. Called him a F and B, a B. He called him everything. All these crazy names because he told him he didn't make 17 threes in a row. He didn't have a scholarship. Nobody wanted him. And, it's almost like the comedian thing. These are sports writers. So now, of course, they're in competition too. Nowadays, you got to be in competition. You got to, because if you're on ESPN, you've seen a lot. You're on Fox, you've seen a lot. CBS, ABC. If you're on any of those platforms, you've seen a lot. And these guys are now in some type of competition to where, again, came up. Stephen A. Smith just wrote a book, how he came up, how his mother and this and that, and all these crazy things, all these crazy situations that he came out of to be the top dog at ESPN. Whether you like it or not, he's the top dog at ESPN. Don't agree with everything he does. Don't agree with all the antics he does. I will say this. This is what I feel about Stephen A. Smith. I feel like Stephen A. Smith, his head's gotten too big for his shoulders. Stephen A. Smith feels like he can't be touched or he can't be disagreed with. Stephen A. Smith feels like whatever he says is bond. And whenever you're speaking about athletes, if we look at a game, and I say, "Oh, the quarterback needs to do better," and you say, "Oh, the running back needs to block," we both have our own. You can't say that your opinion is higher than mine. Stephen A. Smith does a lot for people. He does a lot. Now, he's another one of those brothers that does a lot, gives back, but he gets in this character where I feel like he needs to just bring it down a notch. You already there. You don't have to, Stephen A. Smith, you don't have to go, no, you can cruise on out, brother. You can cruise. You don't have to call nobody out their name like that. You don't have to do nobody like that, man. And you stated, this is what you stated. This is the crazy part about it. You stated that you told your sister. I know you love your sister. You speak about your sister a lot. You told your sister you sorry for about what you're going to have to do. That's almost telling your sister, like, yo, I'm about to go kill this dude. And I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. And she can't do nothing about it. So you weren't going to listen to nothing she said. Had you had a conversation with your sister, I'm guarantee you she wouldn't have told you to act like that. I don't know your sister. I'm just kind of just guessing. I don't think it was warranted. However much you and Jason Whitlock disagree with each other. However much you don't like this man. But however much you don't like him or however much you feel the way you feel, you didn't say a word like that. None of that was coming out before the book critique. Now, if something else might have sparked you or spurned you, hey, okay. But I don't think that's warranted from a brother like you. I don't think that's warranted from a brother like Stephen A. Smith. I know Jason Whitlock's crazy. Jason Whitlock's off the wall. He chasing off the wall things. And you and Shannon Sharp are the two top dogs right now. And Shannon Sharp, you should have talked to Shannon Sharp too, because I don't feel like Shannon Sharp would have let you did that either. Even though he did say, no, Chad Johnson was saying that he should have. It was cool, but Shannon Sharp. I commend Shannon Sharp now because Shannon Sharp, speaking about dudes, he don't even mention their name. And if you ever follow me on Facebook, that's how I talk. I don't mention nobody's name. If the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe fits, wear it. But Stephen A. Smith, you could have just think of ESPN's part of Disney. They could have canceled you, dog. I mean, you just got to think about it, man. And how you feel is how you feel. But I just don't think you should have said all that, bro. You compared the man to Cain, compared the man to a white supremacist, you compare a black man that ain't never touched nobody to a white supremacist. That ain't cool, man. I don't think it is. I don't think it's right. And anybody that commends you for that, if anything, they need to tell you that comment was overboard. That was overboard. So, that's just, I just don't get it. I'm still in awe. I'm still in awe how we make all this money and we still ain't happy. That's point blank. We make all this money and we still ain't happy. We make all this money and we still ain't happy. I thought it was sticks and stones should break my bones, but words would never hurt me. Man, I don't know. I'm just a person looking at stuff on the internet, man. But hey, y'all be cool, man. Y'all please like, subscribe, share, watch, view. Check me out, man. This is Cousin Dilly, and I'm talking dilly to you.